Ravenwood Manor, a name whispered in hushed tones, a place avoided, feared. It stood atop Widow's Hill overlooking Winston-Salem. Twisted oak trees, gnarled like skeletal fingers, guarded its path. Locals told tales. A plantation owner driven to madness. His wife found drowned in the well. Their spirits forever entwined within Ravenwood's walls. The manor, once grand, now decayed. Paint peeled like scabs. Windows like vacant eyes stared out blindly. A shiver ran down your spine just looking at it. Some houses you knew held on to something more than memories. Ravenwood Manor was such a place. John and Mary Harper, young and in love, sought a fresh start. They stumbled upon Ravenwood Manor, its price too good to resist. They dismissed the locals' warnings as superstition. Just needs a little love, John had said, his optimism blinding him. Mary, though, felt a chill, a premonition. She ignored it, eager to build a life with John. They moved their belongings into the musty house. Each creak of the floorboards, each rustle of leaves outside sounded like whispers. That night, Mary woke to a cold spot in the bed. John's side was empty. She found him staring out the window towards the well, a haunted look in his eyes. Days turned into weeks. Strange occurrences plagued the Harpers. Disembodied whispers followed Mary through the halls. Pictures on the walls tilted, their subjects seeming to follow her with malevolent gazes. John became withdrawn, his cheerfulness replaced by a brooding silence. He too heard the whispers, felt the eyes on him. One night, a piercing scream echoed through the house. Mary rushed to John. He sat on the edge of the bed, eyes wide with terror. He spoke of a figure, a woman in white standing at the foot of the bed, her cold, dead eyes boring into him. Mary held him close, her own fear growing with each passing moment. They couldn't ignore it any longer. The house was changing them, pulling them into its darkness. John began researching the history of Ravenwood, uncovering the tragic tale of its former inhabitants. The plantation owner, driven mad by grief after his wife's alleged suicide. Local rumors whispered of murder, not suicide. One evening, Mary saw her. A fleeting glimpse, a white mist forming into the shape of a woman, her face contorted in anguish. She stood by the well, then vanished. Mary ran to the well. A bone-chilling coldness washed over her. She peered into its depths, seeing only darkness and feeling the presence of something evil. Driven by fear and a need for answers, John ventured into the attic. Dust-covered furniture and cobwebs greeted him. In the far corner, he found a trunk, its old lock easily snapping open. Inside, yellowed letters and diaries revealed the truth of Ravenwood's past. The plantation owner, consumed by jealousy, had murdered his wife, drowning her in the well. He read the wife's final entry, a desperate plea for help, a chilling account of her husband's descent into madness. John's blood ran cold. The whispers, the cold spots, the figure in white, it was her, the murdered wife, seeking revenge. The Harpers knew they had to leave to escape the clutches of Ravenwood Manor, but the house had other plans. As they packed their belongings, the house fought back. Doors slammed shut, trapping them inside. The temperature plummeted, a bone-chilling cold seeping into their bones. The house was alive, fueled by the rage of the murdered wife. The whispers intensified, transforming into blood-curdling screams. The figure in white appeared before them, her eyes burning with hatred, her hand outstretched, beckoning them towards the well. John and Mary were prisoners in their own home, hunted by a vengeful spirit. They sought refuge in the attic, hoping to find a way out. But the attic door slammed shut, trapping them. The temperature dropped further, the air thick with despair. The ghostly figure of the murdered wife appeared before them, her white dress stained crimson, her face a mask of rage. "You will join me," she hissed, her voice a guttural rasp. "You will suffer as I suffered." She lunged, her icy fingers wrapping around John's throat, lifting him off the ground. As John gasped for air, Mary's fear gave way to desperation. She grabbed a broken piece of wood, a shard of the house that had become their prison. "Leave him alone!" she screamed, charging at the ghostly figure. But the figure simply turned, a cruel smile twisting her lips. "He is mine," the ghost hissed. "He looks just like him." The words struck Mary like a bolt of lightning. The resemblance between John and the plantation owner in the old portrait was undeniable. He wasn't John. It was the ghost of the husband seeking to claim John as his own. Mary understood. The spirit wasn't solely seeking revenge, but a twisted reunion. With a surge of desperate strength, Mary plunged the wood shard into John's arm. He cried out not in pain, but in a voice that wasn't his own, a voice filled with rage and despair. The ghostly figure flickered, weakened by the severing of its connection. As John collapsed, freed from the possession, the ghost let out an ear-piercing wail and vanished. The house fell silent, the oppressive atmosphere lifting. John, his eyes now his own, looked at Mary with love and relief. They had survived the haunting of Ravenwood Manor, but they were forever changed by the chilling revelation of a love so twisted it reached beyond the grave.